Here you can see what are the main steps involved in the rearing of the silkworm. That is what is expected in your syllabus, silkworm rearing techniques. Now there are a number of stages as you can see. Silkworm rearing is known by the name sericulture. Just like vermiculture, aquaculture, the rearing of the silkworm is known by the name sericulture, and it is defined as the process of cultivating silkworm to produce silk. So if you ask what do you mean by a sericulture, this is the definition of a sericulture. Now here you can see there are a number of steps are involved. First step is that we have to select a healthy silkworm eggs. Only if the eggs are very good, healthy, and that healthy eggs only, healthy adult silkworm will be Bombyx mori will be developing. So the process begins with selecting healthy silkworm eggs from the reputable sources. So that is an important thing because if the eggs are not healthy, if the eggs contain some larvae or diseases, then the entire expenditure that we are incurring for the sericulture will be a waste. So that is a very important step. Second is incubation. Incubation means what? You are allowing eggs to develop into the larva. So selected eggs are then carefully incubated in a controlled environment with appropriate temperature and humidity. Because if we are living in a cold country or cold place, then we have to make sure that the required temperature is there. And similarly humidity. So these are simple things. For example, if you go to North India, you are doing this sericulture, then you should make sure that temperature is correct. Temperature is optimum. And this stage is usually taking 12 days until the eggs hatch into the larva. We have already seen in the life cycle. Then feeding the larva. What is the food of the larva? Most of the time it will be mulberry leaves. So once hatched larva, caterpillar transfer trays or racks containing mulberry leaves, which are the primary source of primary food source. And mulberry leaves are rich in nutrient because necessary for the growth of larva. Because every organism has certain preference, physiological preference for certain food. So that is why mulberry larva is preferring the silkworm larva is preferring the mulberry leaves. Then environmental condition, managing the environmental condition throughout the larval stage, maintaining an optimum environmental condition is very crucial. And this includes regulating the temperature, humidity, and ventilation. Ventilation means air. So that is an important thing. So only if all these conditions are optimum or ideal, the silkworm will be developing properly. Then molting. Molting, what is molting? The larva will be moving through number of stages. So after each stage, it will be replacing or removing its body cover. That replacement of body covering is known by the name molting. So silkworm undergoes several molting as they grow. Normally 3 or 4 or 5 molting will be there. And during this stage they shed the old skin and produce a new skin. Adequate space and proper feeding are essential during this period of healthy molting. That is an important thing. Then harvesting the cocoon. After 25 to 30 days of feeding and growth, the fully grown larva enter the pupal stage. So it is during the pupal stage or cocoon stage that the silkworm is producing a silk thread around it. It is actually a protective case. At this point, they are carefully transferred to clean trays or frames where they can complete the cocooning process undisturbed. Because when they are developing or this cocoon or silk thread around it, we should keep them undisturbed. If you are handling it, disturbing it, that larva may stop process of the silk formation or cocoon formation. Then processing the cocoon. Once the silkworm have completed their cocoon, the cocoons are carefully collected. They are then subjected to degumming, which involves boiling them to soften, because we will be putting this cocoon in a boiled water so that the larva will be killed, and also the softening the sericin, and that will be losing this, because all this silk thread will be tightly attached with the help of a gum like material. So that is the that protein is known as sericin. So by boiling or heating putting it in the boiled water, this gum will be loosened and it will be easy for removing the silk fiber. Then reeling the silk, the softened silk fibers are then carefully reeled from the cocoon, and this process requires silk and precision to ensure that the silk fiber remain intact. Then I will also show a picture of that. Weaving the silk fibers can then spun into threads and woven into various. So once the silk is removed or rolled, they will be then spun into the small threads, and these threads will be used for silk manufacturing silk clothes. Then caring for the silkworm throughout the entire rearing process. Close attention must be paid to the health and well-being of the silk. This includes monitoring of main problem that we are experiencing, that if any pest or disease is attacking the silkworm, that will be spoiling our entire sericulture in the setup. Then hygiene and sanitation is also very important. Maintaining the cleanliness in the rearing environment is very crucial to prevent spread of disease, because disease spreading in the silkworm is one major headache that normally people will be, these farmers will be experiencing. So these are some of the important steps which are being listed, so that if you follow them clearly, we won't be facing any problem during the sericulture setup.